How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Sorry for the technical difficulties and the delay. What's going on, brother?
Peace, family. What's going on, King? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, man. Thanks for waiting up for me. I just got back from Pennsylvania, man. Looking at freaking that 95 traffic, man. It never gets any better for me, man. So I'm sorry for that. Sorry for the hold up, brother.
I understand.
How's life treating you, man? How's everything in New York, man? Look like business is going good.
Yeah, man. Of course, can't complain. It's only getting better from here.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate you coming on tonight's panel, man. Why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd? And you obviously don't need no introduction, but let everybody know who you are and what your business is about and all that good stuff, brother.
Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Fred Cadet, aka Financially Fred. I reside in the Brooklyn area, 27 years old, and my main objective is just to create financial awareness and financial literacy amongst our community, especially the African American community population, and just teaching us about credit, the importance of it, and the power of it, and what it can do.
That's what that's what I'm talking about, man. How long have you been doing this business now?
I've been doing this business for a little under 3 years now.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Too. And is most of your clientele they're basically are they within the New York area? Or are they worldwide or all of?
Now, my clientele is nationwide.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so I have a couple clients all over. Some in Oklahoma, Texas, Chicago, Georgia, all over. But I have a huge majority of my clients in New York, though.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, no problem at all, Chris. My other brothers on here. Yeah, that's no problem at all, man. You don't have to have the camera on, man. I appreciate you joining us. Are you on, Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. How y'all doing?
Pretty good, King. Pretty good, King, man. Why don't you introduce yourself? We already had the one King introduce himself. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let everybody know your background and what your company is all about and all that good stuff. And thanks again for doing this, brother. Appreciate that.
That's no problem, man. My name is Chris Edwards. I am owner of the Reaching Out Consultants. I am a digital marketer, and my specialty is being a customer acquisition specialist. What I would do for small, medium, or large businesses is to bring more organic traffic to your company, either by website or social media, and help you bring more money to your bottom dollar.
That's what I'm talking about, man. What I'm talking about. Yeah, we was going to have Money Mike join us, but he unfortunately had a family incident. So hopefully everything is going pretty good with him and all that good stuff. And hopefully next time we'll be able to have him join us next time. But I want to try to do this annually and whatnot. You guys and a couple other people are the main financial professionals that I see what you're doing out there. You guys inspire me on a regular basis, especially Fred with his credit tips of the day and whatnot. So I see him out there grinding on a regular basis. Chris, with your business, how you taking other businesses to the next platform. So I wanted to have more and more people who inspire me. And I know you guys will inspire others by being here on this platform and whatnot. And we can talk about what's going on in today's situation in today's world, especially from a financial standpoint. You know what I mean? So especially given the fact that, everybody's having a heart attack of what's going on with the stock market right now. And matter of fact, before I even get into my questions, Fred, why don't you give me your perspective on what do you think what's happening with today's stock market?
Oh man,
I know it's kind of a loaded question and whatnot, but we've all seen what's been going on lately. So I
absolutely
get your perspective on it before we go further.
It's a lot that's been going on. I mean, everybody has been talking about Apple and Tesla ever since the split took place. And my advice is it's a great time to get in, because the price has been a lot cheaper since the split has taken place. Mm-hmm. And so even for me, right? So what a lot of people didn't know is that back in March when the pandemic took place, Tesla went down dramatically.
That's true.
I remember when a share was at 380, and I was debating on whether I should get in or not because I had the funds to get in, but I didn't get in. I was like, you know what? Let me wait it out. Then it went up. It went up to about $2,000 a share.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that was just a big regret of mine. So then when that split happened and then a share went back down to about 380, 375 around that area, I was like, you know what, let me just get in now. So I know like those those two stocks right there, it'll be good to get in now because I know what it's gonna do in the future. And we know companies like Apple and Tesla, they're only gonna get bigger. They're only gonna expand. So
Exactly. And before I go to Chris, what is your perspective on why a company like Apple did the split like they did, and even Tesla, et cetera, and so forth?
I'm sorry, man. You met me.
Oh no, I was meant Fred before I go to you.
Okay.
Yeah, Fred. Why do you think Apple did the split like they did recently?
um
Personal opinion, well, professional opinion too.
to be honest, maybe I'm not too sure of exactly why, but what I'm assuming is maybe like more people will be able to get in, or they make it more affordable for people to, jump in and get their piece.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, because right now, like a lot of people are going to, unfortunately, they're going to run away from the stock market. And it's like you just stated, it's the best time to get in. Especially if you're just starting out. Right now is the time to get in. Get in while the getting is good.
And the reason why I say that too is
So high.
and during the pandemic, so many people getting these unemployment checks, the extra $600 and everything like that. So it's like, that's the great, place to put your money and let it work for you and let it grow over a period of time. A lot of times, and that's what I try to educate people on. Like, this is not something that we're thinking about right now. This is something that you're gonna think about 5 to 10 years from now.
Exactly.
Sometimes I see people panic when certain stocks go down, saying, I should sell. I was like, no, if it goes down, buy more. Yeah, secure that. So that's what I try to inform people on. And I know, like, within the next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna see a huge jump and a huge profit. So if you get in now, man, you're gonna reap those benefits. Like, look at when Amazon first was established, and look at where it's at now.
Exactly.
So sometimes we just gotta look at it like that. Look at it.
Exactly. And so, Chris, what do you think? What's your perspective on what's happening with the stock market right now, brother?
To be honest with you, I haven't been following the stock market this whole week. I've just been, so busy just handling fatherhood. So I haven't been focused on that. What I have been focused on is that a certain CEO says some things this past summer that's now coming to air now, and it kind of messed up my stocks a little bit.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he actually he.
But you don't want to say no names, though, right? You don't want to say no names, though, right?
Disclaimer: I can't. Basically,
I got you. Yeah, I already know where it is, so it's all good.
Yeah, so it was a little messed up how he said it. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is, but because of that, my stock options for certain things actually went down a few dollars.
Mm. Well,
So,
as that is, but I mean, that it's unfortunate. That's the way that the market kind of it fluctuates. Somebody says a specific thing, and then it's all she wrote. But things to get back to normal. Because it's going to pass over. It's not the first time. It's darn sure not the last time. That somebody said something crazy and that person ends up getting fired, and we already know that specific corporations had their ups and downs for the last couple of years. So I just leave that alone. So I'll go into the actual panel questions. With millions of Americans permanently out of work, what is it in your professional opinion or personal opinion, et cetera, with the ongoing state of what is going to be the outcome at the end of 2021 with the American economy? What's your prediction? I'll start with you, Fred. Because right now it's kind of on hiatus. in a sense, as far as the economy has, and everybody's going through a correction right now. So, and people I don't even think people still want to acknowledge that a correction's taking place. And then you got an election happening. So there's so many different things that are, so many aspects that are involved. So what's your opinion on it?
Right. I think based on what I'm seeing right now, what's gonna happen is that a lot more people are gonna be in a lot of work home-based businesses.
Mm-hmm.
More people are gonna start getting into that and really understanding, that's the time we're in right now, right?
Right.
So, with children, going to school from home and stuff like that, and parents having to be home to, watch their kids and everything like that, I think it'll be more sensible for them to jump into home-based businesses. So I feel like by the next year, that's where most people are headed towards. People are headed towards that direction.
Yeah, especially given the fact that you got millions of people still out of work right now, like you just stated earlier, and then a lot of people who are going back to work, a lot of the hours have been reduced.
Exactly.
And then those jobs are just not going back. And I just went from going to Philadelphia to going to Reading, Pennsylvania to going to Harrisburg. That's why I was late today. I've been all over the freaking state of Pennsylvania today. Looking at real estate, and I've noticed there's been an influx of business closures, and I've noticed there's been an influx of commercial buildings saying for lease that I didn't notice between Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania and whatnot. More and more commercial spaces are coming open because a lot of companies they're just doing business in a totally different way. We're in the stay-at-home economy, and I don't think a lot of corporations want to go back because they're going to save so much money from this. And then a lot of restaurants are not going to go back to the way that they were because, a lot of people still aren't going out to eat. I mean, hell, I know Grubhub. I might as well start buying stock in Grubhub because I utilize them at least twice a freaking week.
Exactly. So might as well get some ownership of that, right?
Exactly. I might as well get something back. So what do you think, Chris, as far as the 2021 economy? How do you think it's all going to play out, brother?
To me, it could be played on like at almost the same way. Basically, Fred just mentioned a lot of people are starting their home-based business if they haven't started already. A lot of companies are definitely going towards working remotely from home. So a lot of commercial spaces have, especially I know in the state of Texas, they definitely reduced a lot of space already for that purpose. And as for school, for education for the kids, a lot of things are definitely being changed where you have certain amount of kids going to school. The majority of them are staying at home doing school virtual learning. So a lot of things are definitely going to change. Fred basically nailed it on the head with a lot of home-based businesses, and especially you nailed on the head with a lot of commercial spaces being rented out or being sold because a lot of corporations are now going towards working remotely. And because this year, we already seen so far like productivity and efficiency has gone up.
Right.
Where people are not stressed out being on the road most of the day trying to get to their jobs. So I think it's going to be a trend. It's going to be on that path for 2021, and it might even increase on to, let's say, 2023 when we actually got actual numbers to go along with all this.
That's true. And Fred, let me get your perspective because you're up there in New York. Does it seem like there's less people taking the train and whatnot nowadays since you got more people working from home in New York? And since they basically had the city shut down for a long time?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't taken public transportation in months. Like since the pandemic has started, I haven't been on a bus or a train or anything like that. So I'm not too sure.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but I think it's but just based on what I'm seeing, I think there's a lot less people. Social distancing and everything like that. So you can't have a crowded bus.
Right.
Well, they only limit a certain amount of people.
I I could definitely see that. I mean, and then with that being said, if it's limited in the amount of riders, then that's probably going to affect the local economy, whatnot. Because I know New York, that's big business right there.
Absolutely. And on top of that, they just started charging people to get on the bus now. Like I remember for months, the bus was free.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was free. You just needed your mask. Yeah, but now I think since, if I'm not mistaken, since like the 21st of August or something like that, that's when they started charging people to get on the bus.
Got you. That makes sense. So that's another thing, because the biggest problem we're seeing is still, even though certain things are opening up, they still haven't. I think Florida is like the first state now that's like 100% open up.
Really?
Wrong. Yeah, because I guess Floridians, they just don't care. They're like, we die. So that's where they at right now. Like, we going to the beach, we're going to the club, we out. We don't care. So like,
a lot of people in New York taking those trips out there.
Is that right?
Stories and lives of people on Ocean Drive having the time of their life.
I mean, at this point, I guess it is what it is, right?
Yeah, right. You can't go to New York, gotta go elsewhere, right?
I get it. People got to get out and do what they got to do, so life's got to go on. But before I go to my next question, do you think that a lot of school districts are going to take advantage of this for the rest of 2021 in regards to the virtual learning and whatnot? Do you think that's because most of them have said until January, but I got a funny feeling this might be the new norm for a lot of school districts, and there could be possibly shutting down certain public schools. I know that's a whole nother discussion for another day, but it would save the school districts a lot of money from a financial standpoint if they didn't even have to upkeep those buildings and whatnot.
Right. As far as that, New York has gone back though. They started opening up schools though.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Certain schools. But also, even though, like, I think with certain programs, I think they're gonna continue the virtual learning. Like they gone back, but they closed down because of like people started getting sick. But I feel like it may be something that they continue, like the virtual learning, because I realized even like with the colleges, what they did was they're charging people the same amount in tuition.
Right.
We're doing virtual learning.
and that's crazy. I'm just gonna call it like I said.
Yeah, I would have noticed that too.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm getting the campus experience. I'm not living in the domes. I'm at university. You still got to pay what, 30 or 40,000?
I mean, that's a ripoff. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, definitely ripoff when it comes to college.
You pay the same. You're not getting any access to the campus. You're not staying on the dorms. You're not going to any events. You can't even go to a football game. So,
yeah.
Any of the centers, I mean, what are you really paying for? Let's really boil it down.
Well, I think, and in this case, when it comes to like universities, the professors, depending on what rank they are, because there's certain ranks when it comes to their degrees and what they're teaching, contract based. So no matter what happens, especially with this pandemic, they still got to get paid their same salary.
Right.
So I think even though it sucks that college students now have to, for the majority of the country, will have to actually actually be home at their own house, not their dorm, but be at home and doing a virtual learning. They still got to pay full price because those teachers, the deans, the whole faculty of those certain schools still got to get paid their full price because it's contract based. And some of them universities, like the private university, like Duke, for example, that's not a public school, so the state's not providing the funding for them. That's actually getting money from the tuition itself. So any university that have like a state behind it,
right?
Let's say Oklahoma State, for example, or Texas State, that's a state-based university, and the state provides the funding as well, so that can fluctuate. But if it's a private institution,
right,
they still got to get paid. So it really do suck for the students, and they take the parents that have to pay full price for their students and everything. But also, I see the same side of it as the teachers still got to get paid as well, because they are trying to teach the students everything they want to learn for their majors.
And that's true, and I get that and I respect that, but it's okay. The faculty has to be paid. Okay, that's great, but if the university itself isn't being really utilized like that, I know we're still in new territory. It's like, in a sense, you're kind of saving money, in my personal opinion. Am I wrong?
Well, that depends on who's handling the money.
Yeah, well, that's another story for another day. So. I'm not even gonna go into that. So, okay. So the next question, and I'll start with you, Chris. With new business economic opportunities, do you all foresee in 2021, with the new stay-at-home economy on the rise, do you see not only more home-based businesses, but do you see more people? I like to say they're adopting a more of a team set mindset instead of an individualistic mindset, because in America, it's I'm doing it just do for myself and I don't need no one else nonsense. But the thing I always respect in the immigrant community is they put their dollars together on a regular basis, and that's why they can own so many businesses and real estate, et cetera, and so forth. So do you think more of Americans are going to start adapting that mindset because they're going to have no choice?
I really hope so. I really hope so, because for a lot of people, this is new ground. This is new territory for them. So they're not going to know all the answers to how to do things, or even how to even like build a business, so to speak. But you might have that one friend or that one coworker that might know a thing or two, and like, hey, let's partner up and do this instead of you trying to figure it out yourself. It might actually help you save time
and money
to build what you want to build by working with me instead of trying to do it on your own. Obviously, we might have. Obviously, a lot of people are going to try to do everything on their own because they're so comfortable doing it that way.
Right.
But I think moving forward, I think the best decision is that everybody at least make an effort or try to team up or partner up with somebody to this new way of life.
That's true. What do you think about that, Fred?
I think like a lot more people are becoming more aware of the importance of investing. Because like even on my timeline, I see a lot more people asking about what should they invest in or where should they put their money into, and a lot of people are starting different businesses. Or whatever the case may be. Like I see a couple people starting like different hookah businesses, or selling lashes or bundles, or whatever the case may be. Whatever they passionate about or whatever they like. I see a lot of people starting more businesses that way. But I feel like next year people should want to get into like the market, or trading, or investing in the foreign exchange market and things like that.
And that is so true. And I noticed, especially, there's been more and more groups being created online on Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, and so forth. Like you said, people want to hear this good information. That's why people are receptive to what you're putting out there. People want to know how to. That's why more online universities even just popping up out of nowhere, because people know that the old way is dead. And there's no going back. It's sad it took a pandemic for them to kick them in the face to really see it, but they know that this is new territory. This is
to see it. It has to take an effect on us directly for us to really see what's going on. Because somebody could tell you such and such is going to happen, but until it happens, you're not really going to pay much attention to it. So
that's true. I mean, I thought 2007-8, when the stock market crashed and everything went bad, I thought that was the wake up call, but I guess this is.
But look, when you say that, a lot of the millennials didn't go through that. I didn't really go through that, so I seen what happened, but it didn't affect me directly, so I wouldn't be able to relate in that sense. But I seen what the pandemic has done.
That is true. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, because even during that time frame, it didn't specifically affect me. I just saw who would affect it, and I just said, I
Right.
don't want to be me. Physically go through something, it definitely hits you differently. You're right about that.
Right.
And yeah, and after the recession kicked in, like sorry, that actually affected me personally. From like I know it happened in 2007, 2008, but it really kicked my butt. 2009 to 2010, it really affected me for that, like almost a whole year, basically. So I understand what I learned from then, and I'm applying it from then on to now. And
Right.
what I'm seeing now, I'm trying to tell people that hasn't that's younger than me, that hasn't been through the recession. I'm trying to give them little pointers of what not to do,
Right.
so they don't be in the same situation I was years ago.
Exactly. And that goes into my next question. So what if you guys could talk to people that are, going to college, coming out of college, the military, whatever have you, people in their early 20s. All right. What would you tell them the specific job opportunities that you all foresee in 2021? We'll start with you, Fred.
I would look at it from a perspective where I would want like if I was in their position, what would I want somebody to tell me at that time when I was in college or I was in the position they were in? Invest, 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 invest. So I know like a lot of students, especially college students, get that refund check, get that financial aid check, right? Probably be, I don't know, a couple $1,000, maybe, whatever the case may be. I would tell them to use that money, invest in the market, or maybe learn how to learn how to trade foreign exchange market or cryptocurrencies, whatever case may be. At least start to let their money work for them as they're continuously going to school, or learn about the importance of credit. Just things that they will need to know when they enter into the real world. A lot of these things I didn't know of until I left college. And I was like, wow, what is this? I didn't know the importance of it until I graduated or until I was trying to get that job or, do different things. College students, they just think like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get this job and I'm gonna get this apartment because of the money I'm gonna make from my job. But no, look, listen, they check credit scores, they check this, they check that. These are the things I would put them on to at such an early age, so they're aware, or at least they know, they have the knowledge of it.
Exactly. And how about you, Chris?
For a lot of people, especially if they're getting out of college and they're just starting their career, the first thing I would say is definitely with your career, be a part of your company's 401k and match up and invest to the percentage. So if it's like they'll match up your investment for like up to 6%, you do that. Then added on to that, just like what Fred said, you want to start investing. You can use Robinhood. You can use Stash, especially with Stash because you guys can put in like this, $5 in, and you do a partial stock. Especially like say for Amazon, you do $5 in for Amazon, and who knows, a week later you might make up to $10 on that. You already just doubled it, so you want to at least start with that. That's the best way to start because if you start with your 20s, young 20s, mid 20s, compared to somebody in their 30s, you're gonna get more back in when your investment in your 20s than you did start off in your 30s or older.
Right. So I want to piggyback off of what you said, Chris, as far as like the 401k, right? So I know for myself, I went through this, and a lot of people out there are going through this. They're saying, yeah, my money is invested in 401k and a retirement plan, but they don't know exactly where their money is invested into. And another thing, a lot of times people don't raise the percentage of their paycheck that goes into that 401k plan. Because as we know, in a job, you're supposed to pay yourself first, correct? And paying yourself first, that means that money that's going into that retirement plan, because that's the money that you put into before your money gets taxed by Uncle Sam. We understand that, right?
Mhm.
So I was reading this book called Smart Couples Finish Rich, and they basically were stating that for you to be well off right now, by the time you retire, you'll have to invest at least 10% of your gross income every week into your 401k or into your whatever retirement plan that you have established. Because we know you're not gonna have the same that whatever a couple 100,000 that you're thinking about by retirement is not gonna have the same power 20 to 25 years from now than it does right now, because we understand inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about 401k and things like that, I just want to educate the people on to know exactly what you're investing into, know exactly what mutual funds your 401k is invested into, know exactly where it's going. Because a lot of people just say, yeah, my money is in 401k. I'm like, okay, do you know exactly where your money is going? Do you know what it's invested into? Do you know the percentage amount that's being taken out of your paycheck to go into these retirement plans? Majority of people don't know.
And that's unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely want to look into it. Like, honestly, ask questions. You
Right.
ask the questions.
A lot of people just leave it into just leave it in their hands. I'm like, yo, listen, nobody can care more about your money than you.
Right.
You know?
And that's I think that's a simple premise. It's like you got to look at your 401k like you look at your bank account. Your bank account, where I hope you do at least, where your money's going every day.
Exactly.
So if you're not checking your quote unquote retirement, which that's another story for another day, you need to make, like you said, you need to make sure that you can make the maximum contributions and ensure that it's going to the right areas so that it grows, so that when quote unquote retirement does come, you do have a decent nest egg. Because I have a bad feeling that in the next 20, 30 years in the US, retirement might become a thing of the past for those who don't have a financially literate mindset,
Exactly. And that's why like a lot of people, I know you see like a lot of like old people still working at these different places or just picking up a retail job or working at fast food. That's probably the reason why, because the money that they got from retirement is not enough to sustain.
It's not sustainable, period.
It's like, and that should be a lesson learned right there for us.
Exactly. And it goes into my next question. I'll start with you, Chris. What is retirement? What does it truly mean to you guys in your personal opinion? Especially given the fact that how it's changed, because pensions are a thing of the past. You had lifelong pensions converted into 401ks. So what does retirement really mean in your personal opinion?
For me,
Yes, sir. But what do you think? And then what do you think should it mean for everybody else? I mean, I know everybody has their own personal definition, but yeah, let me hear your personal definition of what it is.
retirement should be number one. You don't have to work anymore, and the money, your hard-earned money that you put in from either your job or your business, will take care of you the rest of your life moving forward. Now, as for the majority of society, it should be whatever money you put away, either investments, 401k, businesses, whatever endeavors you have, you should be able to take care of your life financially and physically, because you also got medicals you got to take care of as well. That should be able to take care of you from the day that you retire. It could be whatever age you be. I think the minimum age was 62 to 65, I believe. But
yeah, I think they're trying to move it up to 65 now, at least from a Social Security standpoint.
But let's say from 65 years and up, your whatever you have saved up, invested, 401k should cover you for the rest of that time frame.
Period. What do you think, Fred?
All right, so before I get into it, I just want to make this very clear to people, to the audience, to everybody who's listening. Retirement is based on income, not age. Let's make that very clear. Retirement is based on income and not age. So income is as far as retirement, I say retirement is having enough income coming in where you don't have to put in the groundwork, right? And you have enough investments and ownership to the point where you could you just earning cash flow every month to the point where you can definitely sustain, all your bills are covered and then some, right? So Larry, I know you're in the real estate field and you have multiple properties, right? So retirement will look something like those properties and those assets are bringing in much income to the point where you don't have to go into a 9 to 5 or you don't have to do anything else. Though that's coming in every month on a consistent basis.
Exactly, and that's exactly what is retirement in my personal opinion. Definitely, it's income and not age because I just like you stated earlier. I've seen a lot of people that are much older and they're working because they have to, not because they want to.
Right.
And when in my 60s, the idea of me getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to a job that I know I don't want to get to doesn't it's not appealing to me whatsoever.
Right.
I'm just going to keep it real on that one. Okay, it's not appealing to me, and unfortunately, you're seeing more and more of that because of the lack of financial literacy out there, and just people just not knowing. It's not, and a lot of times it's not their fault because, like you said, the information just wasn't put out there.
Exactly.
Like it is today. So this is a generation, the millennial generation and the up and coming generations that can change this trajectory if you keep on putting out videos like this, putting out books and, having seminars, et cetera, and so forth, and people just, taking the chance and investing and doing what they have to do. Because the biggest thing is a lot of people, especially unfortunately, a lot of times in African-American culture, people think investments is a scam, but it's really a pathway, in my personal opinion, if you know what you're doing, towards freedom, economic freedom.
Now, you know what it is, Larry? Like a lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people are scared of investments because of that possible chance of them losing money. But I was like, listen, you invest every day and you know for a fact you're not getting nothing back in return. You waiting in line, standing in line overnight for those new Jordans or those new Yeezys. That's not an investment, right?
Exactly.
Or, for a birthday celebration or a brunch that you go to every Sunday, you invest your $100 faithfully, and that's not doing anything for you. So.
Thank you. You religiously giving other people your money,
right? You work so hard for at your job.
Exactly.
Right. As soon as you get that check on Friday, you go to brunch on Sunday. That's the whole deal right there. You know you're not getting anything back, or you're not getting anything back from that. It's all about perspective.
I agree. At the end of the day, and at the end, we're all adults here, right? So, what would you have told yourself, your 21-year-old self, back then? What you did, what you know, if you knew what you knew now, what would you have told your 21-year-old self now about your career and about investments?
Who's going for me or Chris?
Oh, my bad. I'll start with you, Fred.
Oh man, wow. My 21-year-old self. Get into finances. Whatever it is, whether it's whether it was taxes, whether it was real estate, whether it was retirement plans, whatever the case may be, get into it, become financially literate. Understand that a job itself is not gonna cut it. It's not gonna save you. Because I had this notion in my mind when I was about 21, 20 years old that, once I had a job, in what I went to school for and I got a degree in, that'll be it. I'll be set. Job, get a car, get my house, get my wife, and that was his life, right? Just me looking back, it's just, that's not where success lies. And I know, to me, that's not really what it is. Just seeing these people that I'm around, these people that I'm looking at that look just like me or that have been in the same position as me, as doing a lot more, so it's pretty much letting money work for you and adding value to people.
Mm.
That's it. And not focus on trading time for money.
Agreed.
Those are the key things right there. And with school, they taught us something different. School teaches us to be an employee, but
Correct.
it's us being entrepreneurs and really seeing it firsthand. We know that it's the opposite. It's not really about trading your time for money. It's about letting money work for you and providing value to people.
Exactly.
Becoming that influencer in our community. And that's how we would, really level up and be up there. So if I was talking to my 21-year-old self, that's what I would really focus on and tell my 21-year-old self.
That's real. How about Chris?
I knew now what I knew when I was 21. Oh man, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Amen to that, brother. How about you, Chris?
Well, just for the majority of everything that Fred said, it's the same thing I was going to say. And LJ, you know me personally, so you know how I was when I was 21. You personally know me when I was 21. I was a wild boy.
Yeah.
One thing I also would say to myself is, just like you said in the previous question, I need to stop buying them Jordans. And so, stop buying them Jordans. Like you said, I'll say this. If I was going to buy Jordans, because a lot of people are still going to buy them regardless of what we say.
Right.
Invest in Nike then. Really invest in Nike. If I'm going to buy Jordans, invest in Nikes or any other shoe, or in this case with Kanye West with his Yeezys. I think he's with Adidas now.
Adidas, yeah.
Invest in Adidas. You're going to buy the shoes, you're going to buy the clothes. You're 21. Just like Fred said before, you can't tell us nothing when we're 21 and put money into the companies you're actually buying the clothes and the shoes from. At least get your foundation started from there, and then build up from where you at.
I agree 100%, and because I'll definitely add on to that. I would have told my 21-year-old self to do exactly what both you guys just said, and to add on to that, I would have made sure my first home purchase would have been through a FHA loan, and it would have been a duplex or a multiplex. I would have did that, especially knowing what I know now. I would have did it in New York back then, because the real estate in New York during that time frame wasn't as expensive as it is today. I would have did it in New York, or I would have did it in Philadelphia. I would have did it in Los Angeles, all these places that have been gentrified, because now that real estate would be $1 million or more.
Southeast DC.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, Washington DC, exactly.
So New York is as far as equity, New York is one of the best places to invest into as far as appreciation of equity. Because I know you say your 21-year-old self, you would have definitely invested. So I know by now, if you would have kept a home by the time at 21 years old, the equity would have been serious on that home by now.
Exactly. Because there's a famous, you guys probably know who he is. He's called Julian Gordon. He's a real estate mogul in a sense. His first piece of real estate was actually in Brooklyn, and it was a duplex and whatnot. And he bought it during the 2009 recession and whatnot. So he got a great price. He still owns that real estate to this day, and it's almost worth, I believe, $2 million. And he got it for like $400,000-$500,000 back then, because that was back when all these foreclosures was up.
Right.
And he was going to go. And the funny thing is, to add on to that story, and you look him up, Julian Gordon, he has his own real estate school. He stated, and I quote, that I was trying to go in on this with my boys, and they said, yeah, we're going to do this. But when it came to bringing money to the table, he was the only one that showed up with money in his hands. So he's the one that benefited. And then when he benefited, everybody's like, hey man, why don't you tell me about it? He said, no, I told you. you didn't want to bring the money to the table. You was like, oh, I'll get you later. He said, no, later's too late. So that's what I like. Yeah, a spot in New York, a spot in DC, a spot in law. And I probably would have house hacked. I probably would have did that for one in New York for 1 year, took equity out of that place, bought another spot in DC, 1 more year, and do another spot in South Central Los Angeles. I'd be a freaking millionaire right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Home purchases, 3.
Just over 3.
Just off of 3. If I knew now what I knew then, if I knew then what I knew now, yeah, I would not be punching anybody's clock.
And actually, let me tell you something right now with that, L. What was it? My first time in LA, I was just 18. I was there for like a day and a half. And one of my closest friends, like I said, my brother as well, his family was actually trying to tell me to get into real estate back then. They actually had some stuff, but I was, like I said, I was at the time of 18, going on, and also in college, not even thinking right. If I would have had that same mentality I have now back then when I was 18,
right,
and getting a property in LA back then, and this was like what, 2002, 2003?
Oh yeah, the prices were great back then, man. Okay, and then like I said, between that time, 2005, and then when the financial meltdown hit, millionaires were created. And people don't even realize it in the stock market and in real estate. Those two.
That's when the most billionaires are produced during those times.
Exactly.
Because people understand the market and just take advantage of it when it's low, or when things are happening, because that's when you could get it for the best prices.
Exactly. And that's why even now is a great time, because I could, like, great example, I'm looking for real estate. I went up to Pennsylvania to look at properties. Majority of them were gone. The second that it hits now, it's gone off the market in 2 or 3 days, no matter what state it's in.
Wow.
Even in my neighborhood in Virginia, a house was flipped. It took about a month for them to flip the house. They bought it at a tax lien. They flipped the house, and it sold within 3 days at almost $500,000. And they bought the house for $30,000 because it was a tax lien.
Oh, wow.
And that's in Northern Virginia.
Wow.
Okay. So there's money to be made out here at the end of the day. Okay. I don't care what state you are in. If you got the mindset, and especially if you got the right crew, there's money to be made out here. And that's what's blowing me. A lot of people just want to sit at home and get on Netflix and whatnot. Like, put that same energy into buying something, whether it's a stock, real estate, starting a business or whatnot, and you will make some serious money moves out here. But a lot of people just they sitting on their hands right now.
Right.
They're scared to jump. And I get it, because the times are uncertain, but people are doing it out here.
That's the whole thing. It's just that, like, a lot of people scared to take that risk. No risk, no reward.
No risk, no reward. Closed mouths don't get fed. I mean, come on, man. Let's just keep it real, man. It's like I mean, I don't like to go off on my tangents, man, but I'm just like I'm seeing this with my own eyes. This is something I'm just looking at on social media and reading about it. It's happening. It's happening in the market. It's happening in the real estate. It's happening with new businesses that are being formed. I mean, heck, what is this? One brother who's a barber. He's got a fleet of now he teamed up with some other barbers and whatnot, and they got a fleet of barber buses, and they go into people's houses now. And after they open the barbershops now, they got more customers now because more people still don't want to go to the barbershop. So they're going to people's homes now. It's just the hustle doesn't stop. More beauty parlors are on wheels now. Thing is mobile, everything. Was it mobile? And like I said, a friend of mine in California, she opened up a mobile bar. So she goes to people's houses and has like different bar parties and whatnot. She just created her own business, and she worked in the medical field because the clubs were closed. People still want to have fun and whatnot. So her husband's the DJ, she's the bartender, and they go to people's houses and they do, like, they call it bar parties and whatnot. So it's like, I mean, like I said, there's other businesses that are being created right now that I don't even know about, but people are just being, like you said, this is the time periods where billionaires are created. People don't get it. And speaking of which, what career fields would you tell, from a career field standpoint, would you tell the young people that are 21, 25 years old to go into right now that you think is going to grow at the stay-at-home economy? I'll start with you, Chris.
Technology. Period. Because the way technology is moving right now, you want to be a part of that. not just to build your career up and get your skill set up in the technology field, but something that we talked about a while ago too, LJ.
Mm-hmm.
Skill set up in technology, and then let's just say go back to Africa and start innovating that country with your skill set that you have over there.
Absolutely, because Africa's an open market right now, and people don't realize it. And I said this in my little video rant the other day. Do you know the number one group of people that are retiring in Africa right now? People from Europe. The number one group of people who are investing in Africa are Asians. So that's why I don't buy into the nonsense of what the media shows. This is dangerous. This is that. I was like, well, if people are retiring here and people are investing here, then it can't be too dangerous, in my personal opinion. I just go off of the facts. But what would you say to that, Fred, as far as career fields and what people should get into?
I would say network marketing. Marketing, because it's basically it's personal development and growth with a compensation plan attached to it.
Right.
Exactly what it is, and the amount of growth that you can have, the amount of trainings, the unlimited amount of mentors that you have access to for only a couple $100.
Exactly.
That's a bargain, and a lot of times, traditional businesses and things that you start up will usually cost a couple $1,000s. You probably got to, get a loan from the bank or whatever the case may be. Or sometimes even if you're trying to be, a realtor or whatever have you, they charge a couple $100s and you got to take classes, get certified, get licensed. Network marketing, you can come in and literally start making money right away and growing and developing as the entrepreneur that you would like to be, because you have that mentorship accessible to you and that the unlimited amount of trainings. I know, like, with network marketing, so many people had became six-figure earners and millionaires within such a short period of time, and you're part of the highest paid industry. Network marketing is the highest paid industry, and you can come in for the amount that a pair of Jordans cost. You can have your own business, and you can strictly work from home if you want to, and work from anywhere. So within this day and age, as far as career wise, I tell people, man, like, get into network marketing. It changed my life tremendously. And Larry, you're in network marketing as well, so I know you can vouch for that also.
Absolutely. It's not only just another great stream of income, but the gates of networking is actually flooded open more and more. And I'm not just doing this for the income. I'm actually doing this for two other reasons. I want to help people, and I want to get to know more people that are like-minded and people that can guide me in a direction where I can't even guide myself.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that 100%. That is the now and that is the future. And if people get away from this, I can do this by myself nonsense, I think people will be in a better position.
Right.
It takes a village, especially at this point. It takes a village.
Absolutely. Once people figure out, like, it's not just about you, you get a lot further than just thinking everything is about you.
Exactly.
It's about us. And just like I said before, like, always, provide value to people, right? You can bless somebody else and help somebody else. Your blessing is going to come too.
Exactly. And getting rid of the selfish mindset and whatnot. It takes us to so many greater levels and whatnot, and takes us to places we never thought we could ever freaking go, and meet people we never thought we could meet, and do so many things we thought we could never do.
Right.
Period. Before I wrap this up, thank you guys again. Everybody who's watching, we got up to almost 300 people watching. Please hit the like button. That's all I'm asking. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Those are the two great free things, and share those three things. Like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Last question, and I'll start off with you, Chris. Given the fact that the Black wealth could end up at zero by 2053, numerous studies have been taking place, especially from Johns Hopkins University. If the mindset of most African Americans doesn't change outside of just living and having a job paycheck to paycheck, what would you all say to the future generation what to do, what you're hoping for the future generations to accomplish outside of just getting a college degree?
Whew, that's heavy.
Yeah, I know. I got a little deep on that one.
Oh, that's a good thing though. Be different. You be different. Don't follow the same path that your family before you have done. Be different. Like Fred said, do network marketing, or my idea, my suggestion, do technology. Be innovative, but just be different. Don't do the same thing that your family have done in the past to get the same results. You do different things, you get different results. At the same time, by doing that, you'll have a better understanding of what you can or cannot do. So you want to be different. You want to try to do things differently, but don't do the same thing. Following different career path outside of what your friends, your family, guidance counselors may have said. Just do something different.
I couldn't agree more with that statement. And I think, and not only do things differently, and to add on to that, like I always say, my mindset I always say, not only just make money moves, vote with your dollars. When you spend your money outside of paying your bills, support your local businesses and whatnot. Okay, and whether it's $5 or $10 here and there, support your local businesses, support your community banks. Okay, if you haven't opened up a bank account with One United, and obviously do your research, because I'm not a financial professional. I always got to put that disclaimer out there. Industrial banks, these banks need your dollars to stay in existence. Us small business owners, need your dollars to stay in business. Are we saying give us $500 here? No. Think about it every couple of months. It doesn't have to be every day, because when you go to the food line, or when you go to a grocery store, or whomever, the local corner store, most people just spend their money and they don't think about it. But think about it, because a lot of other communities do that. It's just the norm. Okay, that's just my personal opinion on that one. Vote with your dollars. Stop, so when this election's over with, which I can't wait for that to happen, we can move on and we can regroup and we can just implement what we have to do in 2021 and beyond. But my bad, I got a little passionate about that. But anyways, go ahead, Fred. Please give me your opinion in regards to the question.
Seek knowledge. Knowledge is key in this situation, right? And I feel like, well, the knowledge is out there more so than before. You have Google and you have YouTube. So you have the visual of what to do, and somebody showing you step by step how to do whatever it is that you would like to accomplish. There are numerous videos out there. And if you just Google something, a lot of information pops up. So that's where you could begin seeking knowledge from. And this is something that the generation before us didn't have.
Mm.
The power of technology. So I don't blame the generation before me for thinking, it's about, just going to school, getting a job and things like that, because that's what we were taught.
Right.
What was ruled as success. That was what was labeled as success. And if you didn't go to school, you'll be looked at as a failure, as a bum, and things like that. So now the narrative is changing. So I feel like these generations to come just seek as much knowledge as possible, because school is not only where the knowledge is, it goes beyond that. Self-education. I felt like I learned so much more now that I'm out of school than when I was in school.
Mm.
I just learned so much more things just about life and just, different types of things. So that's one of the things that I would highly, recommend. Just seek that knowledge and apply it. Once you do those things, everything else will fall in place.
Absolutely.
Developing just personal development every day, just focusing on that no matter what level you're on. Personal development is key. You can never stop growing. You can never stop learning. You can never stop becoming a better person. Once you do that, in my opinion, everything else will fall properly in place.
And before I end this off, do you all think that the school system is ever going to change the dynamics of just trying to create future generation employees and whatnot? You ever think any specifics? Maybe charter schools are doing. I know a couple charter schools are doing this, but You ever think the public school system's ever going to add any special curriculum for special students, for people to think outside of the box so that people can become a little bit more innovative, if not even from an entrepreneurial standpoint, but at least from a engineering and scientific standpoint? What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Actually, I know my school district, we're starting to see that now because the PTA is actually being more involved with it. We're starting to actually see that trend trying to happen for at least the middle schoolers, the high schoolers. Obviously, elementary, you're not going to get that much, but middle school and high school, we're actually starting to see that trend and stuff now because the PTA is actually making an effort into trying to get that instilled into the school system.
Got you. I agree. I agree with that. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I agree, but as far as like entrepreneurial, I don't think so. Because I ask myself, why would they? The whole point is for us to work for them. Because if you taught everybody, like from when we were young, if you taught everybody entrepreneurship, running businesses and investing in things like that, we wouldn't need to work for anybody at that point. Because we already got the game. We already got the source on what exactly what to do. You know, so at that point we would know exactly what needs to get done. We would know exactly, what to do with our money, and the whole objective and the whole culture would change. And, they would start losing so much money, because you need employees. They need those people that is going to dedicate 40 plus years to their life to work for the city or work for the government or whatever the case may be. So they wouldn't teach that. And also, like, we do need, doctors, lawyers,
absolutely,
like that. So, as far as that curriculum, I don't think it would change. And it shouldn't. I mean, if the way they created it, from their perspective, I wouldn't.
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean, I know you're always gonna need employees. I'm realistic about it. I just think maybe if they just add a little bit more financial literacy, just from a keeping people out of debt principle, crazy debt, you know what I mean?
But you gotta listen too. They make money off of people being in debt.
True.
They capitalize off of that. Think about it.
That's true.
Yeah, like we know when you get a property, the banks, it's not really your property till it's paid off. Let's be real transparent here. It's not really our property. We say we own it, but we really don't.
Right.
Couple missed payments, banks are taking that back. Remember, it's still their property because they lent you the money for it. So now, if you don't make your payments plus interest with them, take that property back and all the money that you just spent on making those payments to one day own that property.
That's true. You got a point there.
Leaving us in debt, that's, it's not
between that and student loans and whatnot. You're absolutely right.
It's not meant for us to win. Just the way it's set up. So, worst case scenario, it's always going to work in their favor.
That's true.
And why is it that even if you file for bankruptcy, it can't wipe off a student loan? No matter what you do, you're still going to have to pay that no matter what.
And it's funny that if you get so far behind in your student loans nowadays, I believe you cannot get a passport or you can't leave the United States.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Because there was a and you can look the article up. There was a trend of people who were moving to foreign countries, so they couldn't pay. Didn't have to worry about paying their student loans.
Now you can't even do that anymore. So now you're stuck.
Wow,
I didn't realize it was getting that bad, but yeah, it was becoming a thing. Like people were moving to Africa, the Caribbean, Central South America, Europe, Australia. This way they could skip their student loan payments, and they would start a new life in another country.
Now you can't even do that anymore. That's crazy.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's
wow.
Because, like I said, they always talk about the people that are immigrating to the U.S., but they never talk about the people from the U.S. who immigrate to other countries because that's not a new thing, you know. But I didn't realize that people were like, okay, well,
Yeah.
they try to pull the Wesley Snipes. I don't live in the U.S. no more, so I don't need to work.
Corporate trap for real, man. This is crazy. That's a corporate trap for real.
So it's just like if you take the debt out, you better be ready to pay. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no kidding. My
What's for you? So yeah, I mean that's just like I said, that's the times we're living in because it's like I said, it's just the debt principle. It's just kind of gotten too crazy. So I just behoove everybody to do their research as much as possible. Like you said, study, remain a student until the day you die, because I know I am. You
And
know,
just be a sponge, just soaking all information, you know, just never just be a fanatic for information. You know,
exactly.
obsessed with it, you know, just keep learning. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I learned a lot, but I'm nowhere near to the point where like I've learned enough. Like I'm learning every day. I'm learning every day, and I'm just remain humble. You know.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, gentlemen, I thank you guys for doing this. I really appreciate this, and I hope we get to do this on a monthly basis. You guys have a lot of great information, and before we end this, definitely plug your business. So please put your business in the comment section so I can highlight it because you guys got a lot of great things going on, and the world needs to see it. So, Chris, you want to start with you, sir? Give the name of your business before we and then I'll pass it on to Fred.
Yes, sir. Like I said before, my business is Reaching Out Consultants, and I'm actually going to type in the website for it, but it's reachingoutconsultants.com. Feel free to contact me, email or by phone, and I would do whatever I can in my power to help take your business to the next level.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Fred, please. I'm gonna put your business up first. And Fred, definitely highlight your business, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
So I deal with credit and finances. If you guys are looking to get a home, personal loan, business loan, but your credit is stopping you, definitely feel free to speak with me. I do free consultations. I'll see where you're at and see what we can do moving forward. I can help you get your credit in order. Um, I also in the foreign exchange market. I also trade. So if you definitely want to learn how to do that, definitely give me a call. Reach out to me on social media. I give out free information every week. I give out free game, free gems. So definitely look at my social media. You can follow me on Instagram at financially_Fred. You can also add me on Facebook at Fred Cadet. Let's continue to build, grow, and prosper, family. I'm here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, gentlemen, as always. And keep up the good work. And like I said, your content inspires me all the time, Fred. That's why when I say it, I gotta share it, man.
I see that, man. I appreciate the love, King, always, man.
It's all good, brother. And Chris, thanks again for doing it. I know you got your newborn baby with you, Brand. So I really appreciate you too, kid.
Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations on your bundle of joy, man. That's a blessing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Like I said, sorry I couldn't put myself on the screen and stuff like that, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So as all of us being businessmen, we understand that sometimes we gotta do some things that we gotta do to get the job done. So I definitely appreciate the love, man.
Right. It's all good. And hopefully, Money Mike, if you're watching this, hopefully you're doing good, man, and everything's good with the family. Hopefully, definitely you can join us next time because this needs to be a reoccurring thing because we got a lot of people watching. And like I said, with people you guys having your social media, you're going to get a lot more subscribers. And that's the plan on that level as well, not just to get the good information out, but for you guys to get more subscribers and more customers all at the same time so we can, to me, this is how it should be. This needs to be the new norm. Us just connecting with each other and looking out for each other and making money moves from there. So you gentlemen have a great night from New York to Texas to down here in the DMV. I greatly appreciate y'all, man. Really, I do.
Yeah, appreciate you for having us, man. Feel honored, feel humble, definitely.
It's all good, man. Take it easy, Fred and Chris, and I will holler at y'all later, all right?
All right, take care.
All right, no problem. Take care. All right, family. Thanks again for tuning in. I think this has been the most I've seen in regards to the people who've been viewed this video. So definitely check out their social media platforms all at the same time. Do the great free 3 things: like, share, and subscribe. This is the first time I'm using the background on the live, so hopefully you guys like it. And as always, family, make money moves. I will see you.